Alright, I didn't take a video of me tearing down the log cabin at all, so I'm just going to videotape pictures of what I've done. 2 years ago, got the idea of tearing down an old log cabin from the 1850s. A lot of people out on the East Coast were doing it, so just happened to find this house on Craigslist. I'm in Wisconsin. And yeah, I went and took a look at it, and as you see, it doesn't look like a log cabin. And it had a huge 20 by 20 addition onto it. So as I started looking around the building, if you look on your far right there, you can see the bare logs exposed. Well, I saw that and saw the size of them. They were about 22 inches high. Some pretty beefy logs, so I got pretty excited when I saw that. Purchased the cabin. Actually, it was an old farmhouse. And I guess I went from there. This would have been October 2014. Here's another picture of it. Kind of see the logs. Took me about all summer to tear it down. I did most of it myself. Just weekends here, weekends there. If I'd have to add it all up together, it was probably 2 months. Here's the front side. It was actually the addition was built in 1900. 9 kids lived in this place. It was on a farm, an old farmhouse. But as I got into it a little more, here's the front picture. I rented a dumpster. I had to take out all the plaster. That was a pain. I wasn't expecting that. Also, wanted to let you know, you also have to watch what you buy. There's siding on here. There was plaster on the inside. Didn't see where there was water damage, so I did run into some water damage. And here I pulled off the siding. Look how beautiful that is. Dovetail joints. I saw that. I'm like, wow, I got something here now. Here's the interior. There was plaster on the walls. I took a chipping tool and chipped all the plaster off the logs, which was a pain in the butt. It took me about a week. And it was 35 degrees in January when I did it, so it wasn't very fun. Here's me doing the roof. Just got finished tearing all the shingles off. Here I tore the second story addition off. I did that in 3 days. And here you can see the rest of the addition's gone. You got the siding off. This is what I'm talking about. I found the roof leaked, and all right up in here, it's all water damage. So all them logs were junk. I was kind of disappointed in that. So I said, if you do decide to buy something like this, check it out thoroughly. It's an old farmhouse and there's plaster on it. Take a hammer to it, chip off part of the plaster. I kind of made it work, so I just removed them logs, replaced some. Here's the front end. Took me 3 days with a sawzall to cut the roof off. I just cut it off into sections and threw it off. And another 2 days to take the log trusses off. So it wasn't that bad. I mean, and actually once the roof was off, it got really easy. Okay, so I got the roof off. I took a pry bar and I just rolled the logs off. There's nothing attached to them. Back in the 1800s, they just cut them, they stacked them on top of each other. The top row of logs Here, let me show you in the last picture. This top row had 2-inch dowels running through them. That was the only thing holding the cabin together. Oh, aside from the roof. The roof is what's the strength of the cabin. Once I got those out, I used a Sawzall. I just cut them, wedged a pry bar in between there, and I just rolled the logs off until I hit the ground. There was nothing to it. And here's that picture again. Oh, this is where the exciting part came. Took a couple logs home, I pressure washed them. The whole time I was taking it down, I didn't know what kind of wood I had. When I pressure washed them, they got like this reddish shoot to them, but they dried brown. So I wasn't sure if it was pine or cedar. They were pretty light logs. I mean, I could lift the end of a 28-foot log myself, and I'm pretty skinny, and I'm 170 pounds. So that told me it was most likely cedar. And then a friend of mine, he looked at the wood, and he knows a lot about trees and stuff, and found out they were cedar. So, now, here was the tricky part. These are all the floor joists going across. Now, I did most of this myself. I had my wife help me with tearing off the shingles. I had my friend help me taking out the plaster, but this part I did myself. I took a car jack and a 2x4, and I lifted all of them out. They were all just sitting there freely. And once I got them up, I pushed them off the end. And that took me about a day. And here's the picture with all the floor joists removed. Like I said, they just notched them out. And they just sat in there. And assuming they left it that way because the logs move, so everything needs to move freely. That's just the way they did it back then. And here's a picture of cabin. I was taking it down. Once I got the roof off, it only took 4 hours to take the rest of this cabin down. That's how easy it was.